Hi, I'm Mario Evon, and you're listening to Talk Truth, a weekly edutainment podcast discussing the things that most people are afraid to, but from a Jamaican perspective. From relationships, sex and sexuality, to the ins and outs of entrepreneurship, in this space we speak about almost anything with the intention to inspire, educate, entertain, and create a fair and balanced space where your truth shall become your power and set you free. Yo, my people, you're listening to episode number 17 of Talk Truth. And this is your brethren, your brother, your boy, Mario Evon. And you don't know, Sunday, and you know how we do it already. I hope you guys ball out Talk Truth to me when I say Talk Truth. You ever going on your guttural voice? Today's episode is one about relationships, and I'm going to tackle a topic that I wrote a blog about many years ago, and it's called 10 signs that you may be in a Frelationship. That's correct, a Frelationship, which is like a friend relationship, and this is a term that I coined, so don't try to thief it, right? But before we get into the episode, I wanted to go back to our truth bombs, because we didn't do one last week. But this week's truth bomb is, I want you to tell me a song that you thought you knew the lyrics to, but you were actually singing wrong all along. So identify one song that you were singing your lungs out thinking it was correct, but it was actually absolutely wrong. And I have one from my childhood, which is kind of funny. It's a song called, I think, Every Time You Go Away. And I used to sing, every time you go away, you know the bass line. You take a piece of meat with you. Now ask me something. Why you take meat from me? And where you take it go? I don't understand. It made perfect sense to me in my childhood, but yeah. The lyric is actually, every time you go away, you take a piece of me with you. Not meat. But anyway, now that we know one song that I used to totally sing wrong, I want to hear about yours, and you know how that goes. Go on my Instagram at Mario Evon and you'll see it in the IG story. I want you to respond right there, and then of course I read the answers to you in the next episode. Alright, so let's get into this one, and it is 10 signs you may be in a relationship. So first of all, I wanted to define what a relationship is, because you might be wondering, what the hell is a friend relationship? Has this ever happened to me? Will it ever happen to me? Did I not notice it was happening? Did I miss it? Well, now you're going to be sure. And the word kind of speaks for itself. It's when you kind of have a friendship that kind of feels like a relationship, but it's not really a relationship because it's a friendship, but it's a little too much of one and maybe not enough of the other. It's confusing. Back in the day when I first came up with the definition, a bag of grammar go on today here. Back in the day when I first came up with the definition, my friend Elva helped me to come up with something. I think this was Elva and I at the time. We defined it as the condition or fact of being related, connected, or associated, but particularly between friends, possibly involving sexual benefits that are secret to the public, who perceives that they exist anyway. So long and short, you and your friend, where I saw about on our friend, on really get down with the get down. And only things that nobody don't know, but people know because they can feel the energy, because the energy loud. It loud enough. You out there things say it hide, but it not hide because them can feel it. All when I have no sense can feel it, right? So is this a friendship or a relationship? So let's go to number one. Again, this is coming from a totally heterosexual perspective, but feel free to apply it to your situation because it may relate to any other situation. So change your genders, make it gender neutral, do whatever you need to do to make it work for you. But the number one, her family refers to you as her soulmate, non-boyfriend. This, of course, is coming from an experience I actually had, which is why I was able to steal this term, soulmate, non-boyfriend, and it is absolutely a substitute term for relationship because the family didn't know what to call you because, you're always around. You guys seem to have such a great connection, but you're not the boyfriend. So you are a soulmate, non-boyfriend, SMNB. And this particular term, um, was coined by the sister of my friend at the time. So big her up, and it accurately and concisely describes that you two seem perfect for each other, but no one can understand why you aren't together. So that's sign number 1. You have a nickname from the family. Sign number 2. She, as in the girl that I'm talking to, my friend relationship, my Frelanda, I don't know. She's jealous of your other female friends like how a girlfriend would be. AKA moody when you leave her to go and visit somebody else. And compares their relationships to yours. All the wifey stuff. So, yeah, that would be sign number 2. She is jealous of your other female friends. Sign number 3, you, as in me, you don't want your male friends who are interested in her to talk to her. Yet you're only friends, so that shouldn't be a problem. So, you totally are cock blocking your boys from stepping in because you don't want them in that space because you kind of want to lock that down, even though it's not technically yours. And she kind of doesn't mind that you're locking it down. So, buried into all of these rules are that relationships are absolutely mutual. So this is not a one-sided situation. This is not a situation where one person thinks the other. Both are gonna kind of have some part for playing at this and an active part too. Even though maybe you might want different things, right? Sign number 4. She has affectionate pet names for you that she doesn't use with anyone else. And it's purely in the name of friendship, like love, boo, babe, lovey, sweetie, hun. And don't forget the name of her favorite fruit or vegetable. Sugar plum in Jamaica, you could be a dumpling, like a food item, sweetie pie. You get the point. So, affectionate nicknames, because let me tell you, when the relationship mash up, the nickname them go out the door, It's like all of a sudden you're like, hey, sweetie, hey, babe. And you're like, yo, Mario. Hi, Mario. Actually, they might call you by your last name. Hi, Dr. Guthrie. All of a sudden you become a work title. Like, done with that. Dash with that. All right, number 5. Her male friends ask about you. And this is separate from the point that's going to come below, because the male friends function completely different. Her male friends are basically asking, yo, who's that punk you always around? Like, who the brother where you always deb out? If he isn't your man, why are you always with him? These questions, of course, remain unanswered or answered with a generic pre-planned answer by the female. So, the male friends, them want to figure out what the brother depend. Because, different men operate differently. And us men, a lot of times, we just either go in for the kill. It's either in there or out of there. So, you have this man in this gray area. Him kind of deb out, but him not really deb out. Like, what is he? So, that this is your boys now. Her male friends, her boys are kind of like trying to figure out what the hell is going on. So we move on to sign number 6 now, and this is when her female friends ask about you. They basically want to know if you had sex with him, if we not do things together, if it did good. If it was so good, then why not together? Because clearly the chemistry is there. So the female friends start off liking you. Then the longer things don't progress into a relationship with their homegirl, then them kind of start hating you because they become frustrated that you guys aren't together. And maybe eventually they'll start to hate you because they don't want to see their girlfriend get hurt. So that's a real thing. Yeah. And sign number 7, his male friends ask him about you. So those would be my friends. They're like, yo, who is this girl? And why you spend so much time with her? They also want to know, have you had sex? People strangely just love to know about sex. Too fast. I'm sad it consumes so much of their brain space, but this is the truth. Males are less concerned about your commitment, of course. So your virgin them don't really care as much as to whether you're committed, but I guess overall they just care about your personal happiness. So we hope at the core that people aren't just inquisitive but have good intentions for your happiness. Sign number 8, his female friends ask about you, and that would be I'm using myself as the example. So my female friends are asking, just to create context, asking about the girl. they ask the same things that the male friends ask, but they are more protective, and their initial instincts are not to like the girl, because, woman and woman, them can stay sometime. Even if they've never met her or know nothing about her, they're like, the girls are ride or die for you, and, this girl, what should I come with? Is she any good? Why are you wasting your time on her? Wagwan, right? Sign number 9. You may be friends with or without benefits, but people think you are having sex whether you are or not. And you have that we are in a bubble thing going on, even when you are with a group of people. All right, so as you can see, I'm kind of reading because I'm looking on the blog post, which I'll put in the show notes. And, it's just refreshing where my mind was at the time in my life when I wrote this. But long and short of sign number 9 is, once people see you out in a public space, is that energy thing I mentioned earlier. You kind of are so into each other that you could be in a group of 10 people and it's like the two of you are alone in a room. And because of that energy, people automatically think that you're together or are sexually active. It doesn't really matter. There is a magnetism that surrounds the two of you that people don't really understand, but they come to some kind of conclusion as to what is going on, right? Which brings me to sign number 10, which is you may end up getting married many years later, thus confirming your undying love for each other, which you denied in your younger years, and making a few people rich from age-old bets that it would happen. All right, that one is a joke because I don't know about all of that. But it could happen, you could end up getting together and people are like, I knew it all the time. I didn't know. So the questions for you are to ask yourself, are you really in a relationship? Wait, but before you answer, let's go into some brattom. I have some extra ones. Sign number 11. Her family knows you. Your family knows her. So you don't know, so this is a real friend, because from one of your family members, them know mother, father, or guardian. Once she come at your yard, that is sign 11, she come at your yard comfortably and can run your family and nobody do business. So one her family know you or your family knows her. And 12, so that's 11. And 12, she can move freely in your family space, like nobody now gonna give her no problem. She have access. She have full access. 100 access. She can just walk in, swipe card and these things. So those are your two brata ones. What I will add to this episode while you contemplate whether you have relationships existing is, how do you navigate a relationship? And I've had a few. They have been a feature of my interesting life because I'm a friendly person, and sometimes my friendliness gets misconstrued for other things. But again, I mentioned relationships are mutual, which means that more than likely you do actually have an attraction to this person. So it's not actually like a friend leading somebody on. These are two people who genuinely connect and who may have been physical. But for some factors, maybe in or outside of their control, they just won't ever end up together. And it may be because there's some things that just don't align. Or one person kind of wants something else and the other person kind of wants something else. One usually likes the other one more than the other. You still have that dynamic of somebody probably giving more than the other. But the main difference between this one and somebody stringing you along is that both people are somewhat complicit in this relationship. All I would say to you is, if you're, but a fact, relationship is also included to also equal to that category on Facebook called It's Complicated, for anybody who still uses Facebook. Right, so that It's Complicated category is relationship. This falls right underneath it. A couple other things fall underneath that too, but that's a whole nother episode. What you need to do in a relationship is don't allow it to persist for too long. Because if it continues to persist for too long with clear boundaries and borders and demarcations, then you're just going to have blurred lines. I know you want it, or you may not want it. Blurred lines. Good girl. I just wanted to sing some more. So, yeah, the blurred lines thing now going to work out. So you need to set some boundaries. You need to ask yourself some questions. You need to ask the person some questions. And just like the conversation I had with Shari about the 90-day rule, you're adults, you're grown folk. You just need to really talk to each other and communicate and be open about what you want. And if you're being tied by the things were nice, the good things them, which could be the good food them, the good sex them, the good conversation them, great, wonderful, great that you found somebody that you get along with. Are they going to provide anything further for you? Is this going anywhere stable? Is this going anywhere? Am I wasting my time? Even though I don't believe any relationship is a waste of time, but a wonderful lesson unfolding. But Deepak Mario aside, you really need to figure out your life. You can't be relationshiping at 40 years old. You can't be relationshiping at 33 and you have 2 more years to pop a baby before you're an elderly primigravida, which is like a first-time mother after 35. They call them elderly primigravidas. Yeah, not cool. But long and short is your risk of complications after 35 is greater. We don't have time to waste. Like, we're not relationshiping in a gray phase of life when you need to be making decisions. Life is short. We kind of need to get along. So all I'll say, ending this episode, this really short, sweet, spicy relationship episode, is analyze your relationships that are blurry with someone who you may be attracted to but who hasn't given you all the pieces. Find a nice way to gradually answer all the questions you need to answer to come to a decision as to whether you need to hang out in this relationship, make it pan out, or whether you need to get the hell out of there and cut. And if it's time to cut, then cut nicely or aggressively, but protect yourself first, because you have to love yourself first and sort out yourself and get the hell out. All right, so I gave you 12 signs that you may be in a relationship. So happy relationshiping, happy dating, happy finding that person that won't be your relationship person, but your actual person, your ride or die for life, your lover for life, your partner for life. Make it happen, people. Whew, that one was nice. All right, guys, so you are listening to Talk Truth. It's short, and of course, I'm going to try to bring some guests to you again soon. It's the first I've ever had 2 solo podcasts back to back, and my solo podcasts, them normally deep. So I say, I'm going to give you one way a little lighter. So I'll put the link to this blog in my show notes, so you can actually click it and read it in reality and see some of the writing stuff. There are other blogs on that site, other blog posts that you might enjoy as well. Of course, follow us at TalkTruthJA on Twitter, and follow me on social media as well, everywhere, pretty much at Mario Evon. If you're on my Instagram page, just click on the link in my bio. It's a Linktree link. It takes you to my music, to my website, to everything that is Mario. Please, if you're listening to this by just clicking a link, you need to download a podcasting app and click subscribe. Share this stuff with your friends. Right now we only have 78 subscribers, but yet we have like maybe 200 people listening to each episode. This is where we're at, and I'm going to continually give you statistics, as much as I do this because I really do it for the platform for conversation. Sometimes we do want the numbers to pick up, because the greater the reach is the greater the impact. So if you stumble upon anything in this podcast, or you see an episode that a friend may like, share it with them. Share it on your social media. Take the time and plug the thing. If you're really enjoying it, if you really, really like it, take a screenshot of an episode you like and hashtag it TalkTruthJA. Just blow up the thing a little bit and help the thing to grow, right? So, yeah. Leave a review. Go to iTunes. Give a star rating. Give a word review. I don't even know what I say. My name is Mario Evon. You're listening to Talk Truth. 17 episodes in the can. Me proud book. See you next Sunday. Blessed love.